of DNA Ethics Company and former director of the African Local Government Academy of UCLG Africa, and also former 3 times UN SEPA member. Please welcome Ms. Zarrouk with a warm round of applause.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear participants to Workshop 1 of this wonderful forum, allow me to express my sincere gratitude and warmest thanks to the United Nations Division of Public Institution and Digital Government, to UNPOG, and to the government and people of Georgia for their hospitality, invitation, support, and all the facilities that gather all of us here in this friendly city of Tbilisi. Our session is dedicated to a topic that has a special place in my heart, in my life, and in my career. Among 31 years in Home Affairs in the Kingdom of Morocco, about 16 years as a SEPA member, chair, observer, and since the creation of the United Cities of Local Government based in Morocco in 2003 to date, I dedicated my life and effort to invest and empower the human capital both at the central and the subnational level, because I do believe that human capital is the backbone and the keystone for any transformative and sustainable dynamic in public administration, in governance, and in public service delivery. And I will explain to you, if we have time, why I have this pledge in my life. Also winner of the United Public Service Award in 2013 for mainstreaming gender equality in capacity building. Nobody can deny the centrality of decentralization or devolution in some African countries and local government in the life and well-being of citizens in public service delivery. And you can notice that it is at local level where we found the unique public service that accompany you since your birth until your death. The birth certificate, access to water, to housing, to sanitation, to waste, to transport, to job, all this is done at the subnational level. So what we notice, however, is that public institutions, local officials, mayors, human resources, citizens, and communities at subnational level are still dealing with serious challenges of all kinds on a daily basis, and maybe we will have some examples during the panel. Therefore, let us together make this second session about strengthening the role of local government in public decision-making process a vibrant, interesting, and fruitful moment with a sound, impactful harvest, because we all together, we will make it a moment of peer-to-peer learning, building our capacities, sharing experience, knowledge, and methodology, and in particular, a moment to value and be proud of our initiatives and innovation at subnational level from different countries and perspectives, because today we are celebrating public servants from around the world. Some guiding questions for our honorable speakers and also participants, and I will invite them to join me in 1 minute. What institutional or legal constraints prevent local government from fully participating in decisions related to local development, budgeting, and public service delivery? How can decentralization frameworks be strengthened to provide local government with greater fiscal autonomy and ensure financial autonomy and sustainability? How can local government enhance their administrative and technical capacity to design and implement evidence-based policies? What role can local digital governance and services play in improving transparency, efficiency, and service delivery? How can citizen participation mechanisms such as public consultation, community engagement platforms be effectively implemented at the local level? So allow me to invite to the podium our wonderful panel, Ms. Christina Kiyomi Mori, Ms. Anita Podel, Mr. Mohammed Ali, and finally, our Honorable Mayor, Ms. Dalia Loyola, please. Our first speaker, Ms. Christina Kiyomi Mori. She's Director of Governance and Management at DataBrave in Brazil, and also member of the United Nations Committee of Experts on Public Administration. Please, but before I give you the floor, I was invited if we can shorten a little bit our session because we have the gala dinner tonight. They can go without us. So please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. And I'm glad to be here again. Now I'm going to talk about a different stuff, but they are all connected. So in, in Brazil, we have some strategies from the central government, that is federation, so it's the federal government, to support local governments enhance their institutional capacity, and I'm going to talk a little bit about them. Could you put it Control L? Yeah, thank you. So how can they leverage digital transformation, data governance, and intergovernmental cooperation to strengthen their capacity? Well, Brazil is big. I was telling you this morning, it's a huge population, 213 million people estimated in last year. We have 5,555 municipalities, 27 federal units. Most of the population live in the big cities, and we also have municipalities that are really small. So 200 municipalities has less than 2,000 people. So you can imagine like how difficult it is for municipal governments to have a balance in their capacities. Our GDP is high. We are the 10th or 11th economy right now globally, but our Gini index is bad. It's slowly becoming better, but it is still 1.506, which is more than 1.5, which is really not good, and we are really trying to improve on that. To deal with this complex country, governments have difficulties from each part of where they have the constitutional responsibilities to work from. So I think it's good for us to think about strengthening mutual capacities. So you have different digital capacities, budget, dialogue with local needs, innovative capacities, qualified personnel, knowledge of the territory. And in the sectoral policies, we have governance systems that are really good, like our national health system. The governance of it is very well done. There are steering committees involved with the 3 levels of government. We have participation from users, workers, suppliers. So it's really, it has been being built, and it's really strong. And other sector policies try to mimic this in the social assistance, in education, in culture, in anything. But from the perspective of the federal government, we understood that some of the management themes needed something that are strategies, national strategies that we built with state and local governments and the participation of academia, of society, of the private sector. So we put up 2 of them from 2023 to now to direct what all levels of government should do and row the same way in this big boat that is Brazil. The National Digital Government Strategy is important to amplify and simplify access to public services of all people. The procurement strategy align efficient procurement with development, inclusiveness, and ethic and sustainable development. So we built this, and then now all entities, even the federal government, have built their own, like each one has built its own strategy connected to this biggest strategy, and that helps us move on together. But we also have a Brazilian National Public Management and Innovation program to really try to offer to local governments what we have built in the federal level, and they can gain from the budget perspective or from the efficiency perspective, the 7 fronts. I'll explain them very briefly. So we have the national identity. More than 55 million people already have them. It's connected to ID, the digital login for the platforms of services. So this guarantees biometric security with federative integration. The states are responsible for issuing this document, but it goes with a number that is federal provided, the fiscal number that is federal provided, and it's connected now to the national data infrastructure that I was talking in this morning. I won't go through all of this, but it's not just an infrastructure. That's what I'm going to stress. It's data governance. It has to do with interoperability, with data catalog, privacy and security, and a lot of human talent involved. Otherwise, it's not going to be really useful, and we must abide by privacy, security, and protection of all this data. So this is how it works. There is this connecta.gov.br that is a platform of APIs to integrate, so you can share. We share data from the federal government with the state and local governments so that they can better and more efficiently deliver their policies and the way back as well. The previous about the logging, this unified logging is also available free of charge to all the states and municipal governments. Otherwise, they would have to have their own authentication processes, and this costs money, and it's not as effective as having it connected to the digital or the national identity card. So that's how we are trying to offer to these local levels, free of charge, what the government has already built, so they don't have to do it again. We also have this program to allow municipalities and states to digitize their whole document processing. And we are in 2026, and there are still municipalities that don't have this kind of process. So this was developed inside the government, in the justice power, but we imported it to the executive, and now we offer this as open source to all the municipalities and states that are interested in it. Many agencies of the government also use this, and they interconnect this with a solution that is for, like, one agency has a document process that must be sent to another one, so there is this interoperability of documents is also available free of charge for all levels. We have built a national platform for public purchasing from small local suppliers, and this was incredible because it was a local government that developed this idea. So the city of Recife, that is in the northeast of Brazil, did a platform so that, like, the plumber, the small repairing guy that goes there in the school to repair small stuff in public buildings, they wanted these individual entrepreneurs to be able to really be hired by the government. So they built up a platform, and it was a success. And so we decided to do a national platform that any government can connect to it and any supplier can connect to it, but to do this local match so that the local economy can flourish as well from and not having to rebuild this platform. And we have enhanced the range of services that are available in the platform right now. So we have more than 2,000, almost 13,000 individual micro entrepreneurs registered, and also farming families that are registered to supply local schools with food, with fresh food. So 50 million students benefit from this program of having fresh fruit from local family suppliers in they are close to their schools. And also we are enhancing the number of purchases, more agencies getting into it. So with this, we also have a program to give real estate properties for local public policies. More than 4,000 families will benefit from them. And federal government has a lot of properties. Some of our buildings that are unoccupied. Some are plain terrains that were taken to someone that was wanted to pay a debt to the government. So we share this with local governments, and they can build social policies. And we focus on housing mostly because it's a big problem that local governments are more relevant to get to people that really need and connected with our social registry as well. We also support financial transfers that are from the federal budget to state and municipal levels. So there's billions of this because our congressmen love to give, like 51% of our budget is from the congressmen to give to where they want. But we have tried to put some transparency and accountability, improving the quality of the projects, and all municipal, actually anyone can go to this platform and have this view on how much money is going from the federal government to each of the municipalities of Brazil and to each state of Brazil and for what. So this is a very important transparency program. And last but not least, we have lots of programs, of learning programs for state and municipal level leaders and civil servants in our platform of the National Public Administration School. And many of these courses are online, more than 800, but also we have in-person also courses for the municipal high authorities and the civil servants. And we are trying to share this in as much as we can, because we know that human talent, as Najat said in the beginning, is the only way we can make it. So it's not just technologies people, a lot of people. Thank you. I believe we have the power to create communities of practice about most of the problems everybody has. So governments, they have very similar problems. And whenever we can get to one that is very specific and everybody's dealing with, and then one of these actors have some solution and we can share with each other, is the best way to address it. So it's the power of the federal governments that when centralizing the policies and all stuff, we create this area, this networking that is very important for everyone supporting everybody. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Professor Cristina. Our second panelist is Ms. Anita Podel. She's a program director for Sustainable Development and International Relations section within the National Planning Commission from Nepal. And her subject or theme is National to Local Coordination for Responsive Local Development and Territorial Governance. Ms. Anita, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Can I do a little bit down? So in today's discussion, I want to share how Nepal has been institutionalized the coordination mechanism between national and local governments and communities, so that the development remains responsive and participatory. Nepal has adopted a new constitution in 2015, transforming the country into a federal democratic republic with 3 constitutionally autonomous tiers of government: the federal, provincial, and local. This federal restructuring was not merely an administrative reform. It was a fundamental political and developmental transformation aimed at bringing government closer to citizens, improving service delivery, strengthening accountability, and ensuring that development priorities reflect local needs and aspirations. Over the past decade, local government have emerged as the primary interface between citizen and the state. They are responsible for delivering a wide range of public services, including basic education, primary health care, local infrastructure, agriculture extension, water supply, sanitation, and many of the local economic development agendas. The federal and local government are committed to delivering these services in a coordinated manner. In Nepal, fiscal federalism has remained a critical tool for this coordination. Um, Local governments generate their own source revenue. However, they vary in terms of their capacity to generate such revenue. To fulfill the gap, they receive resources through intergovernmental fiscal transfers, which have enabled them to finance essential services and local infrastructure. Importantly, a significant proportion of these transfers are unconditional, allowing local government to respond flexibility to local priorities. At the same time, conditional grants support nationally important sectors such as health, education, and drinking water, ensuring consistency with national development priorities. This balanced approach has been instrumental in safeguarding local autonomy while ensuring that national development priorities are effectively translated into local actions. However, Nepal's experience demonstrates that responsive development requires more than decentralized authority. It requires effective coordination mechanisms that align national priorities with local realities. In Nepal, intergovernmental relation is based on uh, the constitutionally defined principle of cooperation, coexistence, coordination, and mutual existence. A separate law has been enacted to provide legal underpinnings for coordination among the tiers of government. It institutionalizes consultation and collaboration on concurrent power, policy formulation, revenue sharing, and implementation of national development priorities. Various intergovernmental mechanisms has been established to support this process, including national and provincial coordination councils, which has strengthened coordination between the tiers of government. Additionally, the associations of rural and urban municipalities actively participate in national level dialogue and consultation to reflect local concern and national policy and priority. This mechanism has ensured that policy decisions are informed by local realities and that implementation challenges are addressed through dialogue rather than institutional competition. While these mechanisms play important role in decision making at higher tiers of government, local decision making could be strengthened through providing greater autonomy to the local governments and communities. Allow me to share some example, some practices that we have been adopting in Nepal, where local and national governments have coordinated in a manner that national goals have been achieved, allowing local autonomy. One such important instrument is the system of complementary and special grants, through which the federal government defines broader sectoral priorities, while local government identify, design, and implement projects according to local need. This approach combines national strategic direction with local ownership and responsiveness. Another particularly unique collaboration is the co-financing approach. For water supply projects in rural communities where local government contribute their own source revenue alongside federal funding. Under the co-financing mechanism, the water supply user group are involved from project identification phase through its construction, operation, and maintenance. Usually, local governments contribute minimal costs here in these federally implemented projects. In many cases, communities themselves also contribute labor, material, or sometimes financial resources. And later, the user group operate and maintain the project. 46 project has been implemented under this arrangement over past 8 years, extending access to safe drinking water to more than 842,000 people. Community-based institution serve as another critical pillar of coordinations. Nepal's community forestry user group have become a globally recognized model, contributing significantly to forest conservation, ecosystem restoration, and increasing forest cover to approximately 46% of the country's land area. Similar participatory mechanism operate through irrigation services user group and drinking water user groups, ensuring that community play a direct role in managing local resources and services. Coordination is also central to disaster risk management. Nepal has established a multi-tiered disaster response mechanism that links federal, provincial, and local and community level institutions, enabling timely response and recovery during emergencies. And local governments have done excellent coordination and response during COVID and on other such disaster situations. Together, digitalization is happening across multiple sectors of public administration and has been instrumental in minimizing friction in intergovernmental coordination. Digital systems for budget transfer, social security payments, and vital registration, among others, have improved transparency, efficiency, and accountability while ensuring that services reach citizens more effectively. Together, these operational mechanisms demonstrate how coordination can move beyond administrative arrangement and translate into tangible development outcome from for people and communities. So my takeaway would be from our experience of Nepal, alignment between the local need and national priority can be realized through greater autonomy and meaningful participation of communities and local governments in overall development cycle, from planning and implementation to operation and maintenance. I'll stop here. Thank you very much, and we'll be happy to share some other thoughts if questions come across. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So, Ms. Anita, so now we move to another inspiring experience since I had the honor to evaluate this project. It's in 2015. I have the honor to invite Mr. Muhammad Ali. I think he's here. So I will allow him to present himself, but I invite all of you sincerely, when you have time, when you have the opportunity to go to Azerbaijan, because it's a unique example when it comes to one-stop shop. Mr. Muhammad Ali, the floor is yours.
What a wonderful introduction, Dr. Zaruk, our dear friends, excellencies, distinguished delegates, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished speakers. It's my honor and privilege to stand in the podium and just to speak just in front of you and just next to the very esteemed professionals and colleagues. And also I see just many similar faces in the room and also in the podium. I just carefully listened to and took the note from the former speakers, the Brazil and Nepal. I had the chance to visit Brazil just 1 month before and met with the respective ministry in the midst of innovation management. So they're doing a really fantastic job. Of course, we should take just good examples from the Brazil experiences and also coming to the Nepal. Of course, your government, your national government, specifically in terms of the localization of the government decentralization, one of the priorities of the Nepal, and you are also doing a great job, and congratulations for the success. And also, I would like to start my just the remarks with one very famous proverb. If you want to go just fast, go alone. Or if you want to go far, go together. So this is very important, and I would like to just to draw your attention to the partnership, because the partnership is very important, and the government of Azerbaijan is ready to partner with the colleagues, with international partners, and because only the way of the partnership, sharing of the good practices, we can achieve the results. And in my presentation, I will just try to recap all the moments which I'm just going to show you of our Azerbaijan experience. So I'm representing the Agency for Public Service and Social Innovations. I'm the president of Azerbaijan, which is the key institution in the field of public service delivery. And this is in a small, and also then a small part or abbreviation, we call it ASAN. ASAN means in Azerbaijani easy, facile in French, and it has only abbreviation, stands for Azerbaijani Service and Assessment Network. It was created by the presidential decree back in 2012 as a comprehensive reform in the field of public service delivery and public administration in Azerbaijan, and it's a model of the omnichannel service delivery method, which includes the physical one-stop shop delivery of the services, mobile, and also the digital kiosk we do have, and also ASAN. The main motto of ASAN is leave no one behind. This is the second important point I would like to recommend for the local governments and also to the national governments. The leave no one behind is very important. In ASAN service centers, we deliver 400 services to the public, and which is rendered by 15 public organizations and 30 group of private companies in our 28 likewise omni-channel service delivery centers. You now see some visuals from internal and exterior. And we do have 28 services across the country. And we have ASAN buses, which is the quite successful example of the leave no one behind and accessibility to the services, because each and everybody has a right to get the public services, because public service, on the other hand, is a human rights issue. You know, the basic human rights and says us that each and everybody has, or the government should just provide the equal access to the public services. For instance, I have a right to drive. How I'm realizing this kind of rights to getting the driving license or passport. I want to just visit to Brazil or Nepal. How I should do it with a travel passport, right? I should own that. If the governments realize this kind of public services in a transparent, efficient, accessible, and innovative way, it means that government realize the fundamental and basic human rights of its citizens. So from this perspective, also ASAN makes a sense, and mobile service deliver the services to the remote areas and to rural areas of Azerbaijan, where the citizens even don't have the access. Sometimes they don't have the smartphones. For instance, my father is a 70 years gentleman, but he's not able to use the digital application. He's only able to use the WhatsApp maximum. So that's why the government also should take into account the unreachable segment of the population, the communities and the places. The citizen satisfaction stands over the 99%, and the source of the feedback plays a pivotal role in the development of our services. We have specific department for public service design and innovation, which has continuously working on the delivery of the public services. And additionally, the volunteers is a kind of part of our service delivery process, which also we are just, as I mentioned in all of my presentation, we are covering each and everybody, not only of the delivery of the services, but at the work. The youth generation, because volunteerism is very important. Why? Because after graduating of the universities, I'm pretty sure that each member states of the United Nations and each part of the world requires the job experience. But I'm the 2021, and I just graduated from the university. How should I get this experience? So the volunteerism is one of the key activities of the governments can create an opportunity for the youth, for this segment of the population, to get the first-hand government experience and to interact with the citizens. And also we highly assess the public services based on the ASAN Assessment Index system, and we are sharing this good practice with many countries. And we are applying the technology solutions in our omni-channel service delivery systems, the business intelligence tools, other kind of the simplified and digital tools, and also because from our perspective, in order to achieve the high rate of the citizen satisfaction, simplification, optimization, and at the end, the merging with them and achieving the digitization is the right way to develop the public services. And now I also would like to pay your attention that we also are the operator of the e-visa. Through this just of a platform also, I would like to each and everybody to visit Azerbaijan after the wonderful country like Georgia, because this is just 45 minutes away from here. So we have the train and we have the plane. Georgia is a friendly country, and we have 4 times a flight from here to Baku to Azerbaijan. All you are invited. And by the way, we are going to organize a very big forum in Azerbaijan on 5th and 6th of November, Global Forum on Public Service and Innovation, together with the United Nations, with the Department of Economic and Social Affairs. Would love to see each and everybody in this important gathering. So in 3 hours or in 3 days, depending on the fee, you may get a visa, just applying to Asan Visa portal, and very efficient. Yeah, you confirm it, right? Yes. So also we are the merged, as I mentioned, the public service and innovations. We are also the innovation and acceleration center in our Asan service centers. It acts also a co-working space and also meanwhile accelerate and the public services and develop the public services in Azerbaijan. We created our Asan AI platform. This is Azerbaijan's platform for transforming the entity challenges into AI-powered solutions. What does it mean? This is a kind of a matchmaking platform where the government organizations or foreign or local just put their challenges, and private companies or experts can find the solutions. We are matchmaking. We are not finding itself as an Asan AI platform, the solutions, but rather we are acting as a matchmaking platform. You see in the model, it includes and entails the one-stop shop, the mobile services and AI tools. So we try to merge as much as we can. And last but not the least, about international achievements, we are the winner of UN Public Service Forum, which is now we are celebrating, UN Public Service Award in 2015. 11 years before, and 2019, we hosted this very important forum just before our friends here in Georgia in 2019. By the way, congratulations to our Georgian colleagues, the government of Georgia. They are doing a really fantastic job. I really enjoy here in Georgia, in Tbilisi, and in the gala dinner we will have many and more, I think, I'm pretty sure. Because they have the very wonderful cuisine and we should taste it. Additionally, we are also holders of the best government service in the world in 2023, back in Dubai in World Government Summit. And now we are sharing the practice of Azerbaijan with the countries, but not limited, currently working about 40 countries. And we established likewise Asan concepts in 6 countries, in Afghanistan, Indonesia, Uzbekistan, Uganda, Ethiopia, you see the real pictures, and Pakistan, last but not the least, with the participation of very famous gentleman, Shahbaz Sharif, this year in January in Islamabad, in the capital. And also, as I mentioned, last but not the least, if you remember, I touched a human rights issue, and United Nations Human Rights Council adopted 3 resolutions back in 2018, 2023, and 2026, named after the promoting human rights and SDGs through transparent, accountable, and efficient public service delivery based on the initiative of Azerbaijan. It shows also the public service importance from the delivery of the human rights aspect. And also, last but not the least, again, I would like to highlight the cooperation of Azerbaijan and Asan with the United Nations. We created a trust fund and contributed to the DESA. And in order to achieve the SDG number 16 and also SDG number 17, this kind of partnerships, and UN also, since it's the biggest UN international platform in the world, so we are also cooperating with UN to assist the LDCs, LLDCs, and seats from this perspective. And as a key takeaways, I would like to recommend just 4 issues, the 5 issues, 2 already I highlighted. Whole of government and whole of society approach, this is very, very important. Political will plays an utmost importance, because without the political will in the national or local government, it's impossible to achieve the high results. And of course, involvement of the citizen, or in other words, citizen instruction, because at the end, ultimate goal is to serve the citizens, whether in the national or local governments. From this Well, with these positive notes, I would like to thank you and wish you an enjoyable day for the rest of the evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muhammad Ali. And our last speaker is the Honorable, you see, we let the local government at the end. This is the reality, yeah? So next time, we inverse. So Honorable Ms. Dalia A. Loyola, and she's the Honorable Mayor of the City Government of Carmona. She will share with us an inspiring and innovative initiative, a holistic framework for disability inclusive governance in her city, Carmona. Honorable Mayor, the floor is yours.
Distinguished moderator, fellow local government leaders, colleagues from around the world, a pleasant good afternoon to each and everyone. It is an honor to share the experience of our city and our journey towards disability-inclusive governance through a framework we call Kaling Yakap. Kaling Yakap comes from two Filipino words, kalinga meaning care and yakap meaning embrace. It represents our belief that inclusion is not merely about providing services, it is about building a community where every person is valued, supported, and empowered to participate in our society. Our story began in the year 2000 when our former mayor established a small center serving only 20 learners with disabilities. What started as a single classroom gradually evolved into a citywide system of support. But Kaling Yakap did not emerge overnight. It was built through more than 2 decades of policy reforms, institutional development, and community engagement. Over the years, we established a dedicated Persons with Disability Affairs Office, strengthened disability-inclusive employment policies, created accessibility, monitoring mechanism, and institutionalized program through local legislation. This transformed disability inclusion from a project into a permanent government commitment. Today, Kaling Yakap is anchored on 3 interconnected components. First, the career program for education and rehabilitation. Second, the community-based inclusive development program or CBID. And lastly, the integrated shelter and support service program. Together, this provides support throughout the life cycle of a person with disability, from early intervention and education to employment and independent living, and eventually to long-term care when needed. The career program approach for responsive education and rehabilitation, wherein every learner begins with a comprehensive assessment involving medical, educational, and rehabilitation program. The persons with disabilities are being assessed by a developmental pediatrician, and this is being paid by the city government. This ensures that interventions are individualized and responsive to each learner's strength and needs. Following assessment, learners are guided through an education to employment pathway. Some proceed and benefited from mainstreaming through normal education, through our bridging and normalization programs. Others who are not able to enter mainstreaming are given adaptive skills behavior, vocational training, entrepreneurial, and work preparation. The goal is very simple. We help every learner achieve the highest level of participation and independence possible. The growth of career reflects the city's sustained commitment to inclusive education. From 20 learners in a single classroom, the program now serves nearly 400 learners annually. Beyond enrollment numbers, we measure success through outcomes. Mainstream learners, graduates who pursue higher education, and individuals who transition successfully into employment and community life. Because education is not simply about learning, it is about giving opportunities for inclusion and self-reliance. The second component is our community-based inclusive program that brings services directly to the community. It begins with surveillance and detection, so that in order to serve people, we must first find them. Through disability mapping, home visits, community profiling, and data gathering, we identify individuals who may need support and ensure that they are connected to all our services. This allows us to intervene early and respond more effectively to individual needs. CBID then provides comprehensive support through health services, education, livelihood opportunities, social assistance, and empower initiatives. One of our strongest outcomes can be seen in employment. Through partnership with businesses and government agencies, employability training, job coaching, company referrals, and transportation assistance, we have significantly increased the number of persons with disabilities who are now employed. Between 2017 and 2025, their number increased by more than 100%. These numbers represent individuals who can now earn income, support their families, and contribute actively to the society. Our third component emerged from a question repeatedly raised by parents. What will happen to our children when we are no longer here? Listening to this concern, we work with families, donors, and partners to establish the integrated shelter and support service system. This is a project being implemented by some generous donors and the city government itself. More than a shelter, it is envisioned as a permanent home that provides healthcare daily living support, psychosocial services, skills development, and opportunities for participation. It is to ensure that dignity, security, and continuity of care for persons with disabilities who have no more family support. Many people ask us, what makes Kalingyakap sustainable? The answer lies in institutionalization. First, policies provide a strong legal framework. Over 2 decades, we strengthened this framework from creating a coordinating office. We established an office separate for our persons with disability. It is fully functional, providing inclusive employment, enhancing accessibility, and awareness. This ensures that we were able to provide, this ensure compliance with disability rights and accessibility standards. Second, we dedicate budget allocation to ensure that this project is sustainable. This is integrated in the city's annual planning and budgeting processes. In 2025 alone, nearly 24 million pesos, or approximately $400 were allocated for more than 116 disability-related programs. Third, data guides our decision. Good governance requires good information. Our interventions are guided by disability mapping activities and by the use of the Registry of Barangay Inhabitants and community-based monitoring system. We implemented PWD house tagging and identifies households with persons with disability and support efficient emergency response, service delivery, and planning. But data alone is not enough. The most effective solutions are co-created with the community. In fact, this was conceptualized from different consultations and feedbacks from parents who expressed concerns about the future of their children. Those conversations become policy and concern translated into solutions. Fourth, partnership expand our reach and capabilities. No local government can achieve inclusion without partnership with different national agencies, educational institutions, non-government organizations, private companies, donors, and community organizations. We were able to provide specialized services, create employment opportunities, mobilize additional resources, and reach more beneficiaries than we could on our own. And fifth, accessibility is continuously being monitored and improved, and we establish a barrier-free city monitoring assessment team who are all dedicated for a barrier-free municipalities. For us, accessibility is not assumed. It is measured, monitored, and continuously being improved. Together, these pillars ensure that inclusion remains a permanent responsibility of the government with the support of the private sector. One of the greatest strengths of our program is community ownership. Over the years, we have supported the formation of disability organization, supported parent group, volunteer networks, and livelihood associations. These organizations serve as a safe spaces, platforms, training hubs, and livelihood channel. One example is we have already established a Definitely Happy store, a cafe operated by persons with hearing and speech impairment. These groups demonstrate that inclusion becomes sustainable when community themselves become leaders, advocates, and partners in development. Before I end my presentation, allow me to share our aspiration. Our dream is very simple yet powerful, that every local unit in the Philippines will one day build its own version of Kalingyakap, not necessarily the same model, but one grounded in the same principles of inclusion, partnership, participation, and compassion. Because when local government invests in every child and every person with disability, we create a stronger community, a more responsive and more inclusive society. Our inclusion has taught us that inclusion is not merely a social program, it is good governance. When inclusion becomes a governance where nobody is left behind because no one is left unheard. We continue with our mantra in Carmona, people empowerment at the forefront of sustainable gains and progress where nobody should be left behind. Thank you very much and good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mayor. I would like to invite you, please, for a standing ovation because her city will win this year the award. Thank you very much. So, thank you to our honorable and wonderful panelists. And now we are moving to another exercise, hybrid one. So if we can please go to the platform. You have 3 questions. Take the QR code immediately so we can gain time. So the first one is, what is the biggest barrier preventing local governments from playing a stronger role in public decision making? We have only 5 minutes for this exercise. So the second question, we are in the second one? All together. You have the 3 questions all together. Huh? Second one, in which areas should be prioritized to strengthen local government role in public service delivery? The third one is, what is one practical, concrete reform that could help local government become more responsive, accountable, and participatory? So we can see is the fiscal decentralization and local revenue generation. Because in most countries, we do decentralization with elections and laws, but not in sharing resources. We have done a study in Africa. We go and we gather in the same room all the actors and stakeholders, and we found out that only we transfer competencies. We transfer from central to subnational, but we keep the resources at the central level. And after, we want the local government to be efficient, accountable, and also transparent. The big deal. Okay? So one of the important barrier also is insufficient administrative and technical capacity. Also another reality in most African countries. During my whole life, I didn't see one mayor come in to advocate for his human capital, only for money and the budget. So if we have done this exercise, let us move to our final segment of our session. And it's our discussion, plenary discussion. So please, you can target any panelist or experience, or you share your own experience. But shorten your intervention, please, and introduce yourself. Thank you.
Thank you. Just particularly for Nepal presenter, it's quite interesting that you mentioned in your takeaway that there is autonomy in local government. But on the other hand, you say that the local government has a different fiscal capacity. So how to make it balance? To some extent, they have to autonomy in their development program, but they have limited fiscal capacity. How to cope with that matter in Nepal? Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So let us take 2 or 3 questions, and then I give the floor to our honorable panelist. Julie, please.
Thank you so much for the presentation. My question is directed to the Honorable Mayor. So my question is, first of all, a congratulations on all this wonderful work that you've been able to make impactful impact into their lives. My question is, what is the long-term plan for this program? Have you seen a translation to political leadership, which is the ultimate form of participation and inclusivity? Are you seeing them joining political leadership and representing themselves? Thank you.
1 or 2 other questions or remark?
Thank you very much. It was a wonderful initiatives from many countries like Brazil, Nepal, Philippines, also as
Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan as well. Sorry. It was amazing, and I would like to ask on a question of scaling and localization, because we would like many of these initiatives to be able to scale into larger area to be having more efficiency, but as well, it's not one size fit all solution for every single local places. So how could we actually having a scale of very efficiency places, but also localize in that rooted area for the people? Thank you very much.
So I have only intervention from this side. What about the other one? Please.
Go ahead. Okay. Thank you so much. Such a fascinating panel. I have a question. I'm Margaret Williams. I'm from CIC at NYU. Question for everyone. If you so choose to provide an example on this first column of biggest barrier, preventing local governments, and the issue of coordination with central government. So any examples that you could share where you've actually been able to overcome this barrier and overcome it sustainably, including in power sharing, et cetera. And then a specific question for the Honorable Mayor. I think we were all incredibly moved by what you shared. I wanted to ask you, on the sustainability of the program, you mentioned that community engagement is everything. You also mentioned kind of families and parents quite a lot. How has that specifically factored into the sustainability. And then a completely different stakeholder, you mentioned private sector, which I thought was really interesting. So what has that looked like, and how, again, does that support kind of long-term implementation, including for the transition kind of period that you had mentioned? Thank you.
So please.
I have to congratulate you as well for the wonderful presentation that was made. My question, it can be answered by anyone, but I would like to address in particular to Brazil due to the dimension that the country is very huge. I would like to know what kind of mistakes, for example, that the governments they make when they try to decentralize, and what kind of how can we take which kind of lesson that we can learn from you?
So thank you very much for these comments and questions. Yes, anyone? If we
Can
go
I
behind.
answer first?
Want to come here or from there?
Stay.
Yeah.
Stay.
Sorry.
For the question about sustainability,
Come.
when we started this program, it is the first thing in our mind. So what we did is we started to institutionalize policies, create local legislation, establish a separate department within our government specific for taking care of our persons with disabilities. I think we are the only one in the Philippines who is doing this. So we let the community own this program. We established an organization for the parents. They should be responsible and be a part of what we're doing. And whenever many have seen that when we were able to institutionalize policy, provided consistent budget throughout the years, many non-government organizations are willing to help. And also, we created policies and registration, established organizations of the different parent group of these persons with disabilities, so that we are ensured that even though we are not in politics anymore, we are not anymore the leader, we are sure that this will be continued. We created the Kilusan Kabalikat ng mga persons with disabilities, which includes members of the council, different department heads who are part of giving services to these people, Department of Health, Department of Public Employment in our community. And we also see to it that non-government organizations are also part of this program. So we are very, very sure that at the end of the day, this program would be sustainable.
Thank you very much. I have a last question, please, and then I move back to the panel.
Thank you very much. I think mine was partly answered. I wanted to find out, you indicated to the Honorable Mayor, you indicated that you managed to increase employment over 100%. I wanted to hear tangible strategy that you make use of to reach that number. And then to Brussels, I wanted to find out, will this work to unitary state, or is it only applicable to federal state? Because I'm wondering how will that be applied to unitary state setup of local government. Thank you very much.
So,
Well, I will try to answer many questions in one answer. I believe that the central government is always stronger than local governments, even if it's a unified government. So I think the most important is that we can dialogue with the local level and the federal level and all levels of government to design always with the participation of everybody, all stakeholders that are involved in any policy. And of course, in countries like Brazil, it's very hard to listen to 5,555 municipalities all the time, but they have managed to organize themselves in associations, municipal associations, and well, they politically converge, so there are three, the biggest are three national municipal associations. And also in the local level, many times the municipal level consort with each other, like they define a partnership and they have juridical personality of one that is serving every of the municipal or states that are together there. So this helps a lot in steering all this dialogue that is needed to put in practice the policies. And also, I believe that for not having one size fits all strategies, we try to have a lot of self-assessments for the governments, for them to really recognize themselves and try to choose from what is offered, what is best for them. And of course, always dialoguing with them and giving technical support so that they can enhance their capabilities.
Thank you very much. Last reaction from Nepal and Azerbaijan.
Yeah, thank you for the questions. There was a question about autonomy of local government and how Nepal is managing on that part. Actually, we have tried to design in system that local autonomy is ensured to some extent in their capacity to generate revenue and spend the money. One such example is that we have a revenue sharing mechanism where the federal government gets 70% of total collected revenue through VAT and excise duty. Then the remaining 30% is shared 50-50 between provincial and local government. So mostly we have different window of fiscal transfers which go through federal appropriation bill, but this revenue sharing is separate from that. So the money collected from these two category of taxes will go in a centralized fund, and through that the 15% share of local government will be channelized to local treasuries without like federal appropriation needed. So that will allow them to have their share of revenue without any federal discretion or any specific condition attached to it. So this is one mechanism that we have design built by design through the constitution to ensure that the local governments will be enabled to deliver whatever services they are interested with to do at the local level. So yeah, that's my response. Thank you very much.
Mr. Muhammad Ali? Less
Thank you
than
so
1 minute?
Yeah, no, even try to 40 seconds. First of all, I would like to just give my position, the remark coming from the young lady, issue between the coordination and national and local governments. I will take one small example from Azerbaijan experience. For instance, we have a road infrastructure issue or tree drop down on the way, or just some sewage or garbage issues. Local government, the citizens or residents of the local government sending their review formally 5-6 years before to the directly with the letter or just to the social media. But it was still keeping unsolved at that of the period. Then we create a SAN appeal application. This is a see-click fix model. It's a mobile application. The citizen take the picture and upload to the system. And we, as a national government, take these kind of problems and direct to the local governments. And then also keeping under control the fixation of this problem, and then the respective local government should just fix this issue and upload the photo to the respective application, and citizen have a track to just to follow the result of this kind of problem. So in a nutshell, the coordination between the strong coordination national and local governments, and of course citizen participation is very, very important. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muhammad Ali. So if there is no more questions, here we are supposed to react to your response. And this is the reality, by the way. I said during my opening, when I finished my college, I wanted to do my civil service in my village, in the countryside. My father, who was a military officer, told me this metaphor: no, you will not come to work here. You have to go to work with heads, not feet. I didn't understand. And he did all his means to make me work in the Ministry of Home Affairs, all what he can. So later on, I was appointed Director for Legal Affairs, overseeing the local government. And then I will understand the metaphor from my father. We talk a lot about decentralization, but we don't create the enabling environment to allow decentralization to, first of all, serve citizens, communities, and leave no one behind. And this is why I invest a lot in the human capital, whether they are elected or appointed. Because you elect a mayor who is a doctor, a lawyer, or have never been in school, and you ask him to manage an institution, to manage budget, to manage human resource, to do partnership. No, without being prepared. So readiness is very key if you want decentralization to succeed. The political will to share resources. I said that we transfer a lot of competencies, a lot of power to local government, but we keep the resources. And by resources, I mean the human resources, the financial resources, the fiscal resources, and technological resources. And this is why the young people don't want to go to work for local government. I empowered, trained a lot of managers. As soon as they finish, they want to leave the local government because they don't find this enabling, attractive, motivating environment, work environment with the local government. So really, it is a concrete reality when it comes to the local government. So now, allow me maybe to make a small difference. We have a final question. It will not be on the screen. It is, what do you think is the most urgent action government must take to strengthen the role of local government in public decision-making and accelerate progress toward the 2030 agenda? 1 or 3 suggestions, immediate, concrete, because 2030 is yesterday. What can we do? Because each time we keep talking about challenges and issues. What can we concretely do when we are back home? From the panel or from the audience? Madam?
Speaking from our experience, being in the local government for so long, first thing that it's a must for all local government unit to increase revenue generation. Because if without that, we cannot do anything. And like the Philippine setting, we cannot rely on the national tax allocation being given by the national government. Carmona, for one, we started with only being a third-class municipality. We were able to transform it into a second component city by building infrastructure, opening a road network, so that we can encourage more investment, more entrepreneurs to invest in our locality, because we believe that more revenue generation would equate to more services to our people. And we also invest in our employees in the municipality. We hire that persons that are capable and not by political considerations.
Thank you. Any others? Rolf?
Yeah, I would just suggest that we should make sure that citizens elect their mayor, and if possible, a mayor like you. That would be a very important.
Please.
Thank you, Rajab from Uganda. Mine would be local participation. I'll use a Ugandan example that sometimes at national level, we formulate policies for the entire country. But then you get to realize that local problems in one side of the country are not the same as the other side. So when we are formulating policies, let's go down to these people. And then the other challenge also comes in from that local participation, that parliamentarians from those local places come to the center. They sit at the center. But then when a policy is being voted upon, sometimes they don't even contribute to give the local picture. So let's just increase on local participation so that we get something that not one size fits all. Thank you.
Thank you. Final one.
Thank you so much. I'm Prim Rajasurawankasamakun. I'm a youth advocate and an AI engineer. I think to strengthen local government, it's need empowerment and like empowerment young people, invest in young people as well as invest within the local government. And also, I believe that perhaps social justice and cohesion would be available for better strengthening of our country. Thank you.
Please. Yeah, yes. I will come to you. Please. Please, please.
Yeah. So
It's okay.
yes. So a minor but maybe an important point. We are talking about participation and involvement in policy making, especially at the local levels. This is very critical. What I wanted to say is that sometimes participation actually doesn't happen by physically, being present in a setting or speaking out or telling your ideas and sharing with the others, because there are some layers of the society which are not actually capable of expressing themselves. So we need to actually understand and analyze them. This may not happen always with a physical participation, but we should find a way actually to reach them out, to analyze them, to observe them, and to monitor, track, and to understand actually what they exactly need. Because not all stakeholders may be in a position to express themselves and their needs in person or physically. So we should also think about some alternative ways of understanding and managing them.
Thank you so much.
I have one, please. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I concur with all the opinions and recommendation. I just want to add one more: recognition and reward for individual and organizational performance. I believe that is one of the things that motivate us to perform better. And as an example, in Malaysia, we are going to recognize and reward the local government who have done a lot in terms of bureaucratic reform. So the award will be given on the 29th of June, this coming week. So yeah, I believe this is all the thing that we should do to recognize and to know that they are supporting the government and they are part of the government as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mohammed Ali, final recommendation. You want to come here?
Yeah, here. What an interactive session. So lastly, I think everything we talked about, we highlighted many aspects, but at the end, I think from my end, it ends and it concludes with the personality and humanity. Because public service, whether you are a national or local, so it does not mean you serve to the government, local or the national. You serve to the citizens. You serve to the humanity. So if the personality, you have a good, strong character and personality. So whether you're in a local or national or in an international organization, so it comes with the good results. So from this very perspective, also, Madame Zarrouk, the professor, is a very strong role model for each and everybody, for not only for Africa, for the rest of the world, who is the director of the local government, specifically in Africa, on ALGA, former, and also the 3 times UN SEPA experts. And thanks for the wonderful moderating for this session. You deserve the best of the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, my dear Mr. Mohammed Ali. So allow me, dear all, to express our gratitude, first of all, to the organizer, to our wonderful panel, and also the staff who facilitate this work for all of us. What we can take away from this second session, it is like the 12 works of Heracles. I think the first one is to invest in a holistic approach based on the whole of government, the whole of society, and the whole of economy. It is not only about infrastructure or service or data. It's about a social ecosystem, effective governance, interoperability, and budget allocation. creating community of practice where we can share innovation and solution, localizing the national strategies, taking into account the local realities, because we have a lot of strategies at the central level. So we need to bring these strategies to the grassroots and to the communities, ensuring that development priorities reflect citizens' needs and aspiration, while all the strategies are discussed between the government and the parliament. Investing in the 3C, I took this from Brazil, cooperation, coexistence, and coordination with appropriate institutional arrangement and space for dialogue, because there is a lot of conflicts when it comes to discuss between the national government and the local authorities. Encouraging community-based initiative and reach all the segments of the society, in particular women, youth, persons with disabilities, and also minorities. We forget about them. Migration is a reality today. Alignment between the national vision and the strategies and the reality also. Partnership is key at the grassroots levels between all the actors and stakeholders. When you are doing well, like the city of the Honorable Mayor, inspire others, share and care, and this is the importance of this forum. You will see the inspiring experience that will be awarded on the last day. I used to say it is a golden mine. So take time to see, be humble, be modest. If you don't know, go to see those who have done something wonderful for their societies. A human rights dimension for quality public service delivery. Political will, where there is power, it's very important. If there is no political will, there will be no will. So it's very important. And finally, invest in human capital, because this is all about. Thank you very much, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.